Hello everyone, Kirk here with Kirk's Motorrad shop in Crystal Lake, Illinois, bringing you a do-it-yourself video. Today's video is going to be on how to change out the brake rotor on a K1600. This is the rear brake rotor, and why we'd be changing that out is that it is now down to the minimum spec, which is printed on the disc. It's right here. You can't really see it in the video, but it's 4.90 millimeters. I put a micrometer on this, and it's sitting at 4.88, so it's really time to change it out. So how we go about doing that is we have to remove the brake caliper, and then we have to remove the rotor, and we have to, reinstall a new rotor. So this is something you can definitely take care of in your shop or in your garage, laying on your back, whatever you want to do though. But if you do want me to work on your bike, you can always hit me up with an email, kirk@kirksmotorrad.com, or get a hold of me through my contact page at kirksmotorrad.com. And if you'd like to help support the work that I do here by making you these videos, you can, there's various ways down at the bottom of this video. You can even buy me a coffee. That's a new one that I have put up there. It's called Buy Me a Coffee, and it's just a way to send a little finance my way to help, well, buy me a coffee, I guess. Anyway, so what we're going to be doing here today is we're going to remove the rotor. So the first thing we do is remove the caliper. On the back side of the caliper, it's going to be kind of tough to show that in the video. I will try to show it, but on the back side you'll see there's two mounting points back here that are held on with some T40 screws. And what I do is I like to get in here with a screwdriver and just kind of pry away the brakes so that the thing free floats a little bit. It just makes it a little bit easier. And also, whenever you do change out your rear rotor, go ahead and put a new set of brake pads on. The stuff that I'll be using today, I'm actually using very much a stock unit. This is a Brembo brake rotor. It's going to look exactly like the one that comes from BMW, because that's who makes them for BMW. I'm also going to be installing a brand new set of Brembo brake pads to match up with that beautiful Brembo rotor. One thing I've noticed on these K1600s is they do tend to go through the rear rotor pretty quick. This bike has like 43,000 miles on it. The rotor's already gone. And it's not because the customer drags the rear brake. It's just the nature of these bikes. They're very heavy, and it seems like, if they could have put in like a 3-piston brake caliper or something a little bit bigger, maybe it would slow down the eating of the rotor. But then again, maybe it wouldn't. Maybe it would still just chow through the rotor. Once they get down to where you can feel them, so like if you drag your fingers and you feel an edge on either side, you're getting kind of close, and it's a good idea then to go ahead and put a micrometer on this thing to just to check it out. But let's go ahead and remove the caliper. So right up along here you got your two bolts holding this on. These are T45s. I think I said in the start of the video they were T40s. They're actually 45s. So go ahead and loosen these up, remove them. Once you go ahead and remove the screws, lift it away, just let it hang off to the side. We'll change out the brake pads later. And looking at these brake pads, they are 100% gone. There's nothing left at all to those pads. There's like, I don't even know, maybe 1/10 of a millimeter left. So the guy definitely ran all the miles out of those. Alright, now we get our T40 bit, and go ahead and remove the bolts holding here. I'm going to just loosen them up, and then I'm going to get my power tools in here. Alright, you're going to pull this off, and you're going to turn it and rotate it. You'll see that's why those cutouts are there, so you can get it off of the hub. And the ABS ring will come with it. You can just hang that back on there for now. So guys, if you do want to replace this rotor, there are some aftermarket rotors that you can put on these. You know, don't be afraid to try something else, but there's the part number for that. Alright, I'm just going to let that hang there for a minute. Now, the bolts, okay? The book says that you need to change these bolts. You need to put new bolts in. Guys, you really don't need to. You can reuse these. Just make sure that they're clean. I mean, if they're rusty or if you messed up the ends, then go ahead and change them out. But these bolts, they're not going to stretch with the amount of torque that you put on these. It's not going to be a big deal. Just do replace or at least add some thread locker to this. You're going to use the blue thread locker at a medium strength. And we're going to reinstall them. So I'm going to just go ahead and put a little thread lock on there. Just going to put on each of the bolts. I'm going to just line it up and thread these in. Just make sure that it fits in the little holder that's on the on the rotor itself. Just kind of get them in there. Just lined up so that they're everything's going together nicely. You don't crank down on these. Some of you guys are wondering what kind of ratchet this is. I usually have snap-on on here, but today I'm using a Nipros one. Nipros. I bought this one because I was really impressed with their screwdrivers. Maybe some of you have seen the screwdriver video. Anyways, these things are, god dang it, these things are nice. They're seriously just fine tools. Yeah, little 1/4 inch. I like that it's a very low profile and has the quick release. I'm a sucker for quick release on all my tools. I love it. Sometimes you can't use a quick release because, if you're doing something that's kind of like a real high torque, you can get into trouble with. You might break them. They're a little bit weaker than the ones that are solid. But in this case, on a 1/4 inch tool, not too worried about it. And they are lifetime guaranteed. Although, worried about the snap-on tools, it's nice because the truck comes here and I don't have to go to the store. I don't have to mail anything out. It's part of the price I pay. Okay. All this is on here now. So now what we're going to do is we're going to torque these twice. All right. Our first torque value, we're going to go 12 Newton meters in a star pattern. And this is really just going to snug it into place. And now we're going to go through the whole thing again at 30 Newton meters. And that's that. Now I'm going to go ahead and put a new set of brake pads on here. So make sure that your brake pads, if you're installing new ones, spread these things all the way apart, which I have in this case. So you change out the brake pads by pulling this little pin here, your little hair clip. Change the batteries out in this thing. Once you pull that little pin out, you can take a drift and you're going to knock the knock the pin out from this side. Pull the pin out, and then your pads are just going to fall out. And you can see the you can't even make it out. There's nothing there. Oh, it's actually just starting to touch metal there, right there at the end. Yeah, those were really gone. I don't think I could even pull it out of the garage without wearing those out to nothing. Alright, here's my new brake pads. There's a number right there. 07BB03SP. I really like the original Brembo brake pads. They're really nicely made. I like that they've got all these relief cuts in them. And that helps keep the brake pad quiet. Also helps in water when you've got a little bit of a break here, so it doesn't hydroplane the brakes at all. And they're just really well finished. Really nice. Just because it's a little bit easier, so I don't have to fiddle around with this thing, I'm going to go ahead and put the caliper on without any brake pads on it. Much easier. We're going to line up the little pin, the little hole for the hair clip right there. Just going to kind of line that up so we know we can get it right into place. And tap it in. And tap it in just a little bit more with our drift. That's it. And then pop that hair clip back into place here. Okay. Alright. Last part is we're going to torque down the caliper bolts to 24 Newton meters. Okay, the last thing we're going to do is pump up the brakes. Make sure that you do this prior to taking it out for a ride. Once you got that done, you're set to go. Go ahead and put your tire back on, take it out for a ride, and start wearing out your new brakes. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Hope you got something out of this. Do check out some of my other videos and some of those links I had mentioned before down in the description. Again, if you want me to work on your bike, hit me up with an email, Kirk at Kirk's Motorrad, and we will get your bike, and maybe you will see your bike right here on the lift. Take care, guys. Thanks a lot for watching.